Welcome back. So, picking up on the video from the last one we just did. So we're gonna try today is we are gonna be working on stuff in the garage still. It is cold outside. It's like, I won't say it's like cold. I mean, it's 40 degrees. I've had the heaters on in here, so it's nice and warm in here. But we're gonna get this motor on the stand. So I went to Lowe's this morning and got, get this, because you got, like I said in the previous video, you got to have the bolts. I gotta take that off, to attach this to the back of the motor. So I picked those up. Bad thing is they didn't have normal bolts, so I got, they're still grade 8, but they're hex head instead. So not a huge deal, but it's like, that's all they had in the length that I needed. So there was, other ones there, just not in the length that I needed. But they had hex heads, and I was like, well, hex heads aren't my, we're gonna say they ain't the go-to, but if it works, then I'm just gonna okay, let's run them. Okay, so we got the motor on the stand now. I rolled it over. Yes, it does have surface rust on it. It is just surface rust. So I went ahead, when I put it on the motor stand, I went ahead and cleaned up just with some PB Blaster and a rag and just wiped around the piston ring or the piston walls and everything, just cleaned this little bit of surface rust up. Now, all I want to do today is really just basically disassemble the lower end. So we're gonna pop off take all the pistons out and take the crank out. Now, the reason why I want to do this is well, that was nice. I want to just make sure this motor doesn't have too much wear to it. Or anything like that. So we're just going to break it all down. Just put that, okay. Because if, hopefully nothing's scored, nothing like that. So basically it's just, I'm not saying everything's gonna get reused on this, but I wanna see what can be reused and stuff like that. Upside down, so that way all the pistons can just be knocked right out the bottom. There was a bearing. I mean, it's dirty, but there's no big scrapes on it. It actually looks decent. So I did go ahead and number them. I know this isn't the proper way of numbering them and all this kind of stuff. I am going to number them. I just didn't have a stamp, like a number stamp today. fluid number on it. So this is number 1 piston, so I know how it all goes when I put it back together. Or whatever I plan on doing. Alright, we got all the pistons out, which I'll show you all that in a minute. Now, pop the mains off. Now, I don't remember if I've said this before, which I don't, you know, like, seriously. Don't remember. But this motor has been taken apart before. Oh, where'd that socket just roll to? There it is. I don't think the bottom end's been touched. It might have just needed like head gaskets or something replaced. That I don't know. So again, bearings look pretty good. I think I gotta take the rear main seal piece off this thing. So this is a 1-piece rear main seal motor. Looks good also. Now see, here's my one thing with this motor, is I don't know how this motor, this is, and I'm saying good shape is, you know, kind of a loose comment here, because I'm going to roll this over in a second to show you. Yeah, all the bearings on the bottom end of this motor look freaking great. Alright, I'm going to take the rear cap off of this because it's a 1-piece, and the way that they're set up, it actually hovers around the end of the crank. So we've got to take that cover off right there. Okay, got the rear off, but it's kind of stuck just because it's on here and all that. But should be able to pull the crank out. Alright, let's just set that right there. There's the rear main. Like I said, 1-piece rear main seal. Alright, we'll just set that there. Alright. I know the heater's on, so hopefully it's not making too much noise. So let's just get all these little bearings out first. Alright, now let's spin it over. Now, like I said, I don't know how this motor ran. I mean, this motor was running when I bought it. Like I said, I don't know how. So, we'll first start off with, you know, like the amount of sludge. I mean, like, here you go. I mean, look at all that. And I mean, it's everywhere. But it's all good. It's all good. I mean, they're a little rusty, and some of it's the PB blaster and all that stuff that I went in there, so. But besides, like, you know, needing a good clean and all that kind of stuff, the motor looks pretty decent besides all the sludge and all that kind of stuff. So the first piston was stuck, the little bit of an edge that was on there. After that, the rest came out fine. Now, this one right here. Yeah. Number 2. It had a broken ring. And that's the first ring right there. The number 1 ring was broken. This one, like, was, I think that one was the easiest one to come out. It like barely, basically just like iron bolted it, knocked the bearing off, and it just kind of basically slid out. So, and I don't feel nothing, don't see nothing in there, so I don't think that the piston was damaged any. I mean, they all feel really good. So I don't think this is going to be that big of a deal to get this motor like really cleaned up and get it back to just being in good shape again. So needless to say, I've got to still, which I'm going to do off camera, is I've got to pop all the freeze plugs out. I know I said that earlier. All the plugs and all that kind of stuff out. The oil passage galley right here, the ones up front. Got to get all of those out, and then basically just take it to the machine shop. That's like literally like 5 minutes down the road, and get them to clean it first. That's what we're going to do first. We're going to get it, we're going to clean it, and then we're going to go from there and assess the next step on what I want to do with this motor, how I want to build it. So we'll go from there. All right. Well, that was basically all I want to do in this video, just tear down this small block Chevy and see how good or how bad it is. And, well, there's some good parts and some bad parts. You know, bad is the sludge, you know, broken ring. But for the most part, this motor's in decent shape. Don't know how with the way the oiling was in this thing and the lack of oil in it, whatever. Whole different story. But it's still going to be a good base. So we'll be getting this clean shortly, and then after that one's done, which that one's really close to being done, I'm going to order one more part. Yeah, that one's like almost done. Like seriously, that one's like one part away from like to where it needs to be before it goes and gets dropped in a Silverado. So all right, stay tuned, see you tomorrow.